Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today we are covering more reactions, first reviews coming out of a recent premiere and early screening, and this one is for Venom: The Last Dance, the third movie and supposedly supposed to be the final installment in this Venom trilogy. But I mean, we're gonna see what people are saying. People have gotten to go to the premiere, and press screeners have been sent out, so a lot of people have been able to see it. We're gonna cover these reactions, but if you are new here, please do us a favor over at this channel. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and click that bell. Helps out the channel a ton, gets us out there in the algorithm for people that watch this type of content. But I'm not going to waste any time. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start covering these reactions. This first one comes from Sean O'Connell saying, I think Venom: The Last Dance is the best of the three, while still being incredibly bad. It's bizarre and watchable because it's willing to try anything. Symbiote fish? Sure. Mrs. Chen dance sequence? Why not? I laughed a few times, but this trilogy accomplished very little. Now, I'm not going to disagree with him on that, of course. I do think, this isn't the strongest trilogy, and we've memed these movies to oblivion by now, but I think we've all understood that there's some sort or semblance of fun to be had with these. They're real popcorn stuffy type movies, and sometimes that's kind of what you need to turn off your brain a little bit and have some fun with your friends and family. And me personally, Tom Hardy has always chewed up the screen, and I love the bromance between him and Venom. So I don't think I necessarily have any sort of big expectations for this movie other than to just have a blast. But we're gonna move on. This next one comes from Davey saying, just saw Venom: The Last Dance, and it's a total blast. There are lots of references to the symbiote lore that will wow fans. Great cinematic action, lots of funny moments, and an amazing chemistry between the main characters. Don't miss it, October 25th. That's a good one to hear. Glad that they really enjoyed it. This next one, though, comes from the people over at the Hollywood Handle saying, Venom: The Last Dance might not be a great film overall, but it still manages to be the best of this trilogy that wasn't really able to accomplish a lot. Extremely fun sequences, and Eddie's relationship with Venom still being a standout. A satisfying ending for this trilogy. I'm happy to hear someone say that it's a satisfying ending, because I was really wondering how this would exactly move forward, if it did, or conclude this overarching three-part story that they're trying to tell with Venom, of course. But hearing someone say that it was satisfying gives me hope in the movie. But this next one comes from The Real Soups, Matt Ramos. Soups, the guy, the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, that guy. He says, Venom: The Last Dance isn't just fun, it's the best Venom movie by far. It's the funniest, most emotional, best story, and it takes the silliness we love and fully embraces it full force. They do a lot of cool symbiote stuff, and we couldn't have gotten a better ending to this trilogy that also sets up more. Sony cooked, y'all. I'm not going to take those last three words very seriously, but hearing him say that it also sets up more is very interesting. He seems really high on the movie as well, which is a good thing. This will probably please a lot of fans, especially people that like those Venom movies. There's a certain liking to those. They feel straight out of the early 2000s, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's always a bad thing. I think in the case of something like a Morbius or Madam Web, it is. But I feel like these Venom movies, because of Tom Hardy mainly, have become just straight popcorn stuffers and kind of a weekend of entertainment for a lot of people. But we're going to go ahead and move on. This next one comes from Chris Killian saying, Venom: The Last Dance is a wacky buddy road trip that stretches its PG-13 rating as far as it will possibly go. Simply put, Venom 3 is classic guilty pleasure cinema. Turn your brains off and let Venom snack on them. That's exactly what I'm expecting. So hopefully I'm not too disappointed. Obviously, I'll give you guys my review as soon as possible, as soon as I watch it, which I think I'm going to watch it this Friday. So, it'll probably be up that Monday after. But yeah, Joseph Deckelmeyer here we got saying Venom of the Last Dance takes you on a wild and exhilarating journey from start to finish. It's a fun popcorn movie that reminds me of the early 2000s comic book movies. The action is great and is a tribute to action films from the 80s. There's a ton of funny moments. Are there plot holes and some issues with the story? Yes. Is it fun? Also, yes. That fun word, don't get me wrong, over the years it has gotten some bad connotation, which I don't quite understand because not every movie's gotta be or gonna be a Dune Part 2. Sometimes families want to go out, purchase tickets, eat some popcorn, and turn their brains off for the weekend and have fun with, their children, their friends, their family, and sometimes movies are built for that. And it seems like Venom The Last Dance is nothing short of it and definitely delivers on that. But we're gonna cover some more. This next one coming from Ian Sandwell saying Venom The Last Dance is the most entertaining of the trilogy. It's largely a funny and sweet road trip with Eddie and Venom living their Thelma and Louise fugitive dreams, including car karaoke and dog rescuing. You might even find yourself getting emotional. Wow, I'm really curious to see at what exactly. This being the last movie, obviously there's going to be stakes. Obviously Venom and Eddie might have to say goodbye to each other. There's going to be certain things that might get the audience choked up, but I will be surprised if in the end I find myself getting emotional, maybe even realizing how much I love them more than I thought I did. I'm really curious to see what exactly the movie does that may pull at my heartstrings. But we're gonna cover some more. This one coming from Simon Thompson saying Venom The Last Dance sees Tom Hardy go all in for a fun finale benefiting the franchise. With stacks of set pieces ranging from kooky to crazy, this doesn't hold back with the phenomenal action. Take it for what it is. Grab some popcorn and go with the flow of this raging road movie. That's like the third person we've seen call this a road trip, a road movie. And I'm really curious to see how that pans out exactly. I think the road trip formula in movies, might have gotten a bit wrung out at this point. But I do think there's some fun hijinks that can ensue along the way. And depending on how it's done, it could be, thoroughly entertaining. So I'm not doubting it. But I'm really interested to see what exactly they mean when they're saying that this is a road trip movie. We're gonna cover some more and then close out this video though. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the reviews. Start dropping your comments below on what you guys are thinking so far. Are you gonna see it? Are you not? Are you excited? Are you not? All that jazz. But let's go ahead and move on. This next one comes from Josh Wilding saying, I've seen Venom The Last Dance and it's the most cinematic, monumental Venom movie to date. Eddie Brock and Venom's dynamic is at its strongest in this one, and the stakes are so much higher. I had a lot of fun with this one. The final act is bonkers. Now I can't wait to see what they mean by that, especially when we're talking Venom movies. These movies have gotten pretty weird. I'm really curious to see exactly what entails for it to be considered bonkers. But we're gonna go ahead and move on. This next one, it comes from Drew Taylor saying Venom The Last Dance is the best of the Venom movies. The insanity has been ramped up significantly, but so has the heart. It's not perfect, but it's super entertaining, and there's a giant monster that chews people up and sprays blood out of the back of its head. Pretty nuts. Well, that sounds ridiculous. I'll take 5 tickets, please. We're gonna cover a couple more, wrap this video up though. This one coming from Dio saying Venom The Last Dance is brutal. This movie is the best of the trilogy. It's a beautiful send-off while also setting up what's to come. It's also got heart, lots of it. Bring the tissues, but not because you'll be crying. Okay. There was a spider emoji and eyes in there. I'm really curious if, maybe Sony tries to set this up to connect to Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie somehow. It would literally be the most Sony thing to do, so I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. But we've got one last one coming from Raven Bruner. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But she says, oh boy, buckle in. Venom The Last Dance is exactly what I imagine riding a Venom horse feels like. The movie is pretty gory, super entertaining, has tons of action sequences, features a wacky road trip that is just 10 out of 10, but also made me cry and want a hug. Wow. I'm really surprised that people are getting emotional at this, but we'll see. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think about these reactions and how excited are you for Venom: The Last Dance? Will you be watching it this weekend, or will you wait for it? What are your thoughts on the previous 2 Venom movies? I have done a review for Let There Be Cinema, but yeah, once again, place your comments below on all this stuff. I love discussing with you guys, and if you made it this far and you haven't, please hit that like button, subscribe, and click that bell. Helps out the channel a ton, and it would be absolutely, positively, greatly appreciated. But that's gonna do it. So without further ado, it's been your boy Keezy, and hopefully I see you all in the next one.